What up, what up, what up, what up? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only, the motherfucking general. Back at it on the one and only, the Sports Betting Mexican Podcast, homie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We made it. We profited. We cashed the motherfucking ticket. We nailed the motherfucking Super Bowl. Let's fucking go! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, we fucking did it. I told you bitches. I fucking told you motherfuckers that the Kansas City Chiefs was gonna win the bitch ass Super Bowl because of Travis Kelce, because of Patrick Mahomes, because of that motherfucking defensive line, that D, and the Swifties, that is. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a match made in heaven. It was too easy. It was too perfect. It was always staged. Y'all saw the game. Y'all saw it. I did. We all fucking saw it. Come on now. That was too many accidents for it to just be a coincidence. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory, but at the end of the day, what did I tell you guys last night? I said, guys, if the San Francisco 49ers are going to win this game, they're going to have to score at least 28 points, maybe 34, probably 35. If you're going to beat Patrick Mahomes, you probably got to score somewhere between 28 to 35 minimum if you're going to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Come on now, man. Let's just be honest. I told y'all on the prediction clip last night. What did I say? What did I say last night? I said I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to score at least 17 to 21 points. At least 17 to 21 points. They scored 19 in regulation, and then they scored another 6 in overtime. But they scored 19, basically right in the middle of what I predicted. I said 17 to 21 at least, because I said in the playoffs, in the postseason, I saw Green Bay go up in there, even after San Fran had a fucking bye week. Remember that shit? Number 1 seed. They beat up the Cowboys. They beat down the bitch-ass Eagles. They were destroying and demolishing all these teams in the NFC. Y'all remember that shit? Y'all remember that shit? Yeah, I remember that shit too. And they got the number 1 seed, and everyone's happy and excited and jumping up and down because they said ain't no way Dallas gonna come in here and win this shit. Ain't no way the Eagles are a threat to us. Baker Mayfield already got romped by us. Ain't nobody in the NFC fucking with me. Oh, the 49ers was riding high when they locked up that number 1 seed. And Green Bay went into Dallas and beat the Cowboys, shocked everyone. Because Dallas was like a 7-point, 10-point favorite. Remember that shit? And Green Bay pulled up not only the upset, they fucking destroyed that Dallas D. They made that shit look embarrassing. They dropped 48 on that ass. I can't believe Dan Quinn was hired after that shit. That motherfucker got rocked. And then after that, Green Bay went up into San Francisco. And I was picking San Francisco, but I said, man, I'm going to have an insurance policy because Green Bay might pull off the upset. So I got to have a little insurance just in case. You know what I mean? And Green Bay, honestly, in my opinion, played a really good game. They put up 21 points in San Francisco. And I'm going to be honest, they should have won that game. They should have won it. Jordan Love threw a stupid-ass pick, dumbass interception again. And he didn't need to. He had like 48 seconds left, and it was only like second, third down. He didn't have to throw it across the field and get picked like a fucking dumbass. He was already at the 30, 40-yard line, 48 seconds left. All he has to do is get another 20, 30 yards real quick. San Francisco defense was playing soft as hell because they was just trying to run out the clock, tackle them, between the numbers. And Jordan Love just made a stupid-ass, rookie boot-ass mistake, threw the fucking pick, and ended the game. But I thought the Green Bay Packers were going to win that game, score the field goal, and win the game 24-23. They didn't. It's okay. Lesson learned. Hopefully, they can grow from this. But honestly, I thought I was very impressed by the Packers being able to put up 21 points against that San Francisco defense, who I used to think was elite. And then they started getting some injuries, lost some, key guys in free agency. And I said, man, I think the defense is really good. but I don't know about elite. It's probably still top 5, but I don't have them ranked number 1. Everyone said Baltimore was number 1. I was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. But whatever. I said they probably still top 5, top 10 at least. They're good enough to get the job done. And, I said Nick Bosa and adding Chase Young. Remember when they added Chase Young and everyone thought that was a big deal, including me? Yeah, nah, that wasn't really, such a big deal after all. I thought they were gonna be home run hitters. Instead, they're not as hyped as, they once was. Anyways, though, Packers went in there, put up 21. I thought they should have got that field goal at the end to win the game 24-23, in my opinion. They didn't. Then the San Francisco 49ers had to play the Lions. Again, I take the 49ers. But I said, you know what? Just in case this shit goes sideways, Brock Purdy get injured again, I'm going to have an insurance bet, and I'm going to take the Detroit Lions on the upset, and I'm going to parlay it with the Chiefs, because I said, wouldn't it be fitting that the first game of the season ends up being the last game of the season too? Because the season opener was Detroit versus Chiefs, and everyone was butthurt and said the only reason Detroit beat the Chiefs was because Tony's bitch ass, who didn't even play in the Super Bowl because he fucking sucks dick. That motherfucker, all he does is drop balls and take them, that is. This motherfucker sucks. I was rolling when I found out they wasn't letting him play in the Super Bowl. They said, stay your ass home. Don't even leave the hotel room. You sorry as hell. We don't even want you on the field. We don't even want you on the sidelines. Stay your ass in the room, bro. I was dying. America, I was rolling. I couldn't stop laughing. That shit was hilarious to me. They didn't even let Tony leave the dressing room. They said, get the fuck out of here. We'll see you back home in KC. We don't even want you out here. We don't want you to contaminate me. Get the fuck out of here. That shit was funny as hell to me. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw he was inactive for the game. They told his ass to fly back home. Don't even join the team. We'll meet you there, bro. Like, damn. They don't even trust him to hold the trophy. It said he might drop that shit as well. That shit was funny. Oh, man, I couldn't stop laughing. That's how I knew the Kansas City Chiefs were taking this shit seriously. They said, we don't even want you in the meeting. Stay your ass in the hotel room. You're only here because you have to be. Nah, fuck that shit. We'll meet you in KC. Don't even join us don't even talk to the team, bro. That's how much of fucking negativity you are to me. Oh, man. That shit was hilarious. Anyways, though. So I had a little insurance bet on the Lions. Remember that shit? I said the Lions might pull off the upset. If the Lions pull off the upset, I'm going to parlay that ticket with Kansas City. And that was my insurance bet. My insurance bet was if Detroit wins, then Kansas City has to win. Because then it's just, a conspiracy. It's staged. First game of the year, last game of the year. Because when Detroit beat Kansas City in Kansas City to start the year, everyone was bitching saying, oh, we didn't have Chris Jones. And, excuse me. And Travis Kelce, he didn't play because of injury, and this and that, and Tony dropped like fucking 40 passes, and you know what I mean? By the way, for those of you guys who remember that game, KC at home versus Detroit season opener, dead ass Patrick Mahomes should have fucking won that game. He threw fucking dimes everywhere, and his receivers was just dropping shit. They looked sorry as hell. Then the next morning, everyone on ESPN and Fox Bets was talking garbage, talking about these guys suck, they're overrated, they need Tyreek Hill back, they need to make a trade, they need to go looking free agency, they need to go pick up somebody off the fucking internet, because these dudes is garbage as hell to me. And everyone was talking shit about KC, not Patrick Mahomes, because he was dropping dimes in that game. These motherfuckers just couldn't catch it. He literally threw the ball in their chest, in their hands. I think one of the passes went off the bitch's face mask, and it popped in the air, and Detroit intercepted it, ran it back for a pick six. Because, don't get shit confused. Jared Goff did not play great in that game. He was high. I think he scored like 10, maybe 13 points in the game. But the rest of it was his defense scoring points. Because the Kansas City Chiefs wide receivers were sorry as hell. They were fucking garbage. They sucked. So that's the only reason Detroit won that game. It wasn't because their defense was elite. It wasn't because Jared Goff was fucking special. It was because their defense was just getting easy pick sixes because Kansas City Chiefs receivers couldn't catch shit. They were sorry as hell, especially Tony. So go figure. He got benched in the last game of the season, which was the most important one. But anyways, I thought that was the conspiracy. Like, oh man, they're going to want to run it back, and Kansas City's going to look for revenge. They got revenge versus Miami in the first game of the postseason, and they beat Tua and Tyreek Hill, even though some people said Tua was better than Patrick Mahomes, because look at all his yardage. Look at how many yards he has. Get the fuck out of here. We all know Tua ain't shit. That's all about Tyreek Hill. Without Tyreek Hill, Tua gets fucking exposed too much to me. Even with Tyreek Hill, it's so fucking clear to me he can't throw the fucking football deep. He has no deep field accuracy. That's why every time he throws the ball up, it's always short, short, short. He underthrows Tyreek Hill more than anybody in the fucking league. All he does is throw the ball fucking short. He's just not deep enough. He ain't got it like that. He ain't got the juice like that. I'm sorry. Drake said it best. He ain't got the juice like that. I'm sorry, bro. He is not the one. He is not special. He's not elite. And he damn sure ain't worth no $200-300 million. Get the fuck out of here. For what? He has no fucking accuracy past fucking 20-30 yards deep. He can't do anything. That's why he throws the ball short to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill catches it behind the line of scrimmage, and then he takes off for 20-30 yards, and everyone acts like Tua's special. Get the fuck out of here. I told you guys he's overrated since he came out for the draft. Bullshit-ass quarterback. Would not pay him $200-300 million, but that's probably what Miami's going to do because they're scared to try to draft the next Brock Purdy. They ain't got the balls. They ain't got the stone. They ain't got the cojones for that shit. But you pay that dude $200-300 million, you're going to have to let like 6-7 starters off the roster. We'll see how Miami looks next year. But people thought Tyreek Hill, he the shit. He's gonna go off on Kansas City. Get the fuck out of here. Snead held that shit down. Then the next week it was, the Buffalo Bills, they're dominating, they're steamrolling, they're beating everybody. They got all the momentum. They're at home. They're gonna beat Kansas City. Nah, Patrick Mahomes said, nope. The fuck out of here. Snatched their fucking soul from their chest. Left that shit in Buffalo. He said, you can take that shit back. Yeah, get that shit. We don't even want to hear. Then after that, it was, Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, this and that, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da. Everyone's sucking his dick. And I'm over here saying, I don't know. I feel like he's alright. He's good. But I feel like he's more of a running back than a QB to me. And everyone said, no, look at his yardage, and he's throwing the ball deep, and he's a dual threat, triple threat option, this and this, this and this. And I'm like, bro, y'all said the same thing about Jalen Hurts last year. And I'm telling you guys, when you force him to throw the fucking football and you don't let him scramble out the pocket and get the first down with his feet, and you force him to throw 30, 40, 50 passes in a game, eventually he is not going to make the right decision. He's going to fuck up and throw the ball deep, and it's going to get picked off. And what happened at the end of the game? Threw that shit into triple fucking coverage because it wouldn't let him run with the fucking ball. They said, you're going to have to throw it, and you're going to have to throw it against Snead. And guess what? Boom. Bitch got picked. Game over. Season over. Bye-bye fucking Baltimore. So I feel like Patrick Mahomes, just all these dudes that we put on a pedestal and we try to say we're on the same level as Patrick Mahomes, or they're just as good as Patrick Mahomes, or you know what I mean? This and that compared to Patrick Mahomes. He fucking, he took names, he whooped ass, and he fucking murdered them each and every single time. He beat them. That's all it is. What Vin Diesel say in Fast and the Furious? It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning, puta. And he fucking gave it to them. Snatched their shows, left that shit in Buffalo, fucking buried Lamar Jackson and his fake-ass resume in Baltimore. Fuck out of here. 2 MVPs, only 2 playoff wins. Yeah, sorry as hell. So anyways, though, and then the last game of the season, I said, man, I'm telling y'all right now, if Detroit somehow pulls off the upset against fucking San Fran and they make it to the Super Bowl and Detroit does this shit, I think it's going to be a rematch. So that was my insurance bet, 3 weeks ago. My insurance bet was Detroit and Kansas City Chiefs. I took San Francisco, but that was my small insurance bet because Kansas City was like a plus 200 underdog, and so was Detroit. They were both plus 200 underdogs. So I said, I don't even got to bet a lot of money to cash out a big-ass ticket. So even though most of my money was on San Francisco, and I had a lot of money on the Chiefs, I had a little insurance bet right there on the side with Detroit and the Chiefs, because plus 200 on each, I only had to put like 10-15% of my bankroll to like double the whole thing. So that shit just made sense to me. I said, man, fuck these dudes. I think the NFL is going to rig this shit. If they let Detroit win this game, then I think they want a rematch with the Chiefs. First game of the season, last game of the season. What better way to end? You know what I mean? And especially after all that shit talking where Detroit, everyone was riding Detroit after that, first win. And KC was salty as hell, Millie. So anyways, then after that, we had 49ers. They cashed that ticket. KC did what they did. And boom, we come into the Super Bowl. And what did I tell y'all last night, man? I said San Francisco is going to have to run the fucking football. They're going to have to stop using Brock Purdy. Say, bro, we need you to be a game manager. We don't need you to be elite. What we need you to do is run the fucking football with Christian fucking McCaffrey. Because when you watch the games, Kansas City Chiefs was getting the balls run down. They're getting balls run down their throat when they went up there to fucking Buffalo. And then at the end of the game, Buffalo stopped running the football and they started throwing it. Boom. What a failure. Then they go into Baltimore. Same thing. Baltimore's running the football. And then in the second half, KC said, nah, we're just going to go man coverage and we're just going to start, pressing the line of scrimmage. And you're not going to be able to run the football and Lamar Jackson's not going to be able to break away for a first run. You're going to have to test our DBs one-on-one. And they couldn't get it done. And then what the fuck happens here in against San Francisco in the Super Bowl? In the first half of that game, San Francisco was dominating that game. They were running the football. Christian McCaffrey had a fumble. That's uncharacteristic. But the point is they were running the football. And Kansas City couldn't stop them. They was getting the ball run down they fucking assholes. They couldn't stop a nosebleed. These dudes was getting romped on the field. Everyone was looking at that shit. I was telling my wife, that shit look embarrassing. What the fuck is y'all doing? And then in the second half, what happens? KC does the same thing. They start loading up this line of scrimmage and they tell Brock Purdy, you're going to have to beat us man on man, one on one, mano y mano, DBs versus your wide receivers, man coverage. And we're just going to start blitzing you with 5 or 6. And you're going to have to fucking figure out where the blitz is coming from. And you're going to have to be able to, throw your receivers open in man coverage with a linebacker coming down your face. And what did Brock Purdy do? Oh, incompletion. Oh, throw the ball away. And he couldn't get the job done. And they ended up kicking field goals instead of scoring TDs. And I told you bitches, man. I told everybody. If the San Francisco 49ers are going to win that game, they got to run the football with Christian McCaffrey. I know he had 22 carries for like 100 yards. That dude should have had 30, 35, 40 carries. They should have never stopped running the football. It's just like the last Super Bowl with Jimmy bitch-ass Garoppolo. They was winning. They was getting all these picks and interceptions on Mahomes, and they was running. And then at the end of the game, here comes Jimmy Garoppolo. Whee! Throwing that ball away, being stupid with the football. And I'm like, man, Kyle Shanahan, you look like a dumbass. Why the fuck did you stop running the football? Right? And so same thing here. I think KC set it up. I think it was a trap. You know what I mean? They loaded, in zone coverage and they let Christian McCaffrey go off in the first half. And then the second half, they started blitzing. They started sending more gunners, more runners. They started stacking the line of scrimmage and they put everyone, one-on-one in coverage. And they said, all right, Brock Purdy, second half, it's all on you. What are you going to do with the football? And I thought they should have just kept running it because even if they stack the line of scrimmage, you got big-ass Trent Williams. Ain't nobody beating big-ass Trent Williams. Like, they should have figured out a way to keep running the football or maybe throw some screens so you get Christian McCaffrey in the open field. You throw a screen to Deebo Samuels in the open field. You throw a screen and you know what I mean? You try to get, a uke on one of those screen plays. Like, you do something to get your guys in the open field because in the open field, it's really hard to stop McCaffrey. It's really hard to take down Deebo Samuels. It's really hard to stop Ayuk and Kittle and this dude and that dude. And instead, they didn't do none of that. And they just kept getting blitzed. And Brock Purdy, incompletion. And next thing you know, they only scored 9 points in the second half during regulation. Only 10 points in the first half. Because when it mattered most, they blitzed the shit out of Brock Purdy. And he wasn't ready. He wasn't able to read the coverage. And he wasn't able to beat his DBs on man coverage. And so it was disappointing to me because I said it, man. If San Francisco is going to win this game, they need to score 28 to 35 points because they already gave up 21 points to Jordan Love. And they almost lost that game. Probably should have. They already gave up, 28-31 to the bitch-ass Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. They let that motherfucker put up 28 points in San Francisco, and they was leading. Honestly, that was just a choke job. San Francisco probably should have lost that game too, low key. They was down like 10, 14 points at the half. You gotta fucking be kidding me. The only reason Detroit didn't win that game is because they stopped running the fucking football. Because I was watching that game. First half, Lions went up like 17-21, and they was just running, and they're running. And they was going balls deep in that San Francisco pussy. They looked like bitches out there. I was shocked. I had an insurance bet on the Lions, but I was shocked that the 49ers was just getting ran through like that. Detroit was running the football on that ass, and they couldn't stop them. And then the second half, here comes Jared Goff. Wee, throwing that ball. Wee, picking again. Wee, fumble here and there. And Detroit, they just came apart in the second half. 49ers took advantage. They took the momentum back, and they just steamrolled them in the second half, and they ended up winning that game. To me, that was a choke job by Jared Goff. That wasn't the 49ers being elite. That was just like stupid ass fumbles, dumb ass pick six, like just stupid ass mistakes by the Lions. That to me, that's more on Jared Goff and the running backs for the Detroit Lions. But San Francisco did what they're supposed to do. They did their fucking job. They stepped up. They scored, some touchdowns, and they took the momentum back. And they ended up winning the NFC Championship and going to the Super Bowl. But it doesn't change the fact that in the first half, Jared Goff was scoring whenever he wanted. That Detroit Lions team was putting up points, getting yards. They was feasting on that San Francisco defense. So Jordan Love put up 21, should have been 24 and won that game. Jared Goff put up fucking 31. I mean, damn, man. Like, I was not impressed by the San Francisco 49ers both games this postseason. And then in the Super Bowl, I said, guys, I think Patrick Mahomes is probably going to score somewhere around 17-21 because you're not holding him down less than Jordan Love. You're not holding him down less than Jared Goff. You know what I mean? Like, to me, he's better than those two. And I get it, his wide receivers aren't as elite, but I trust Travis Kelce. I trust, that Rice kid, the rookie. I trust, Pachenko, that motherfucker's a beast. I love, Andy Reid's play calling. And I told you guys, I think the Chiefs have one of the top 5 defenses in football. Some people think they're number 1. Some people say they're number 2. Either way, they're top 5 to me. And I thought 49ers were iffy top 5, but KC was for sure top 5. And so that's why I said I think when push comes to shove, Patrick Mahomes is going to score at least 17-21 points on these guys, at least. So for 49ers to win, convictingly, they're going to have to score probably 28-35, and they're going to have to run the football like 20, 25, 30, 35 times minimum. And when I saw that first half again, guys, I was watching that game thinking, man, Christian McCaffrey's going off. He had that one fumble, I get it. But he was still getting yards, 6-7 yards here, 6-7 yards there. They couldn't stop the guy. And in the second half, I get it, KC was loading up the box more, but you should just throw a screenplay in then. You know what I mean? Like, get your guys in the open field. Quick snap, get rid of the football, throw it to your guys in the open field, and force the Kansas City DBs to tackle McCaffrey, tackle Debo, and tackle, Ayuk in the open field. And use, Kittle for fucking pass blocking. Like, you got to come up with some plays there. And I feel like Kyle Shanahan, more so than Brock Purdy, I feel like Kyle Shanahan choked that game away with his bad play calling. Like, I didn't like it. And then at the end of the game, in overtime, 4th and 4, I don't even know why they threw it on 3rd and 4. If it was me, you're already in the fucking, in the red zone, 3rd and 4, bro, I'm running the football. And then after that, I'm running the football. And then if I get the first down, I'm going to again run the fucking football. In between the tackles, because nobody's stopping big ass Trent Williams. That dude is too big, too tall, too powerful. That dude's he's a beast. He's the size of a fucking mountain out there. Ain't nobody stopping no big ass Trent Williams from winning a fucking Super Bowl. So, I get it, they're loading the box, but you gotta come up with something, Kyle Shanahan. I mean, damn, bro. Come on, dog. Shanahan, like, you have all the fucking weapons. You have like 8 all-pros. You got all the fucking best tight ends. You got the fucking fullback and Usyk. You got the fucking running back and McCaffrey. You got wide receivers everywhere. You got playmakers all over the field. You got Trent Williams on the offensive line. I mean, damn, bro. You didn't think they were going to try to blitz Brock Purdy? You didn't think they were going to try to get after your quarterback's ass? You didn't thought they were going to apply some heat, put some pressure? Give them all the fucking smoke in the Super Bowl. You didn't see that shit coming, bro? Come on, dog. Like, Kyle Shanahan, to me, I feel like he's the one that did the choke job. Not Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, look, You know, he got blitzed, he got pressured in his face, he couldn't make the play. A lot of QBs can't make the play, but it's up to the head coach to figure out a way to get them more time or to draw up a play where you get the ball, snap it, throw it really quick so that way the blitz doesn't even get to you. That's what Tom Brady did. Every time Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, you know what I mean, Drew Brees, all the OGs in the game, every time they would see a blitz coming, they'd be like, okay, I got something for that shit. Boom, snap it and throw it. And get your guy in the open field and force their DBs to make the tackle in the open field. And I'm telling you, Christian McCaffrey ain't easy to take down in the open field. Neither's Ayuk, neither's Deebo Samuels, neither's fucking Kittle. Like, throw your ball, snap it, boom, release, and get your guy in the open field and let that shit be mano a mano and see who wants it more. You know what I mean? Like, force them to stop, tackle your guys in the open field. Instead, he's over here drawing up all these exotic plays and you run here and you run there. And Brock Purdy's like, bro, I ain't got the time to throw the ball nowhere. You know what I mean? So to me, Kyle Shanahan, bro, you got to understand your QB's limits. You got to understand what he can and can't do. And you got to understand what the Chiefs defense can and can't do. And they can't stop you from running the fucking football. And every single time against Buffalo, against Baltimore, and now against the San Francisco 49ers, they stack the line of scrimmage, they go mano a mano, man coverage, and they say, we're going to blitz you. You got to figure out where the blitz is coming, and you're going to have to throw the ball downfield before I can get to you. And these QBs, when you can't let them run around and scramble out the pocket, and you know what I mean, and you put some pressure on that ass, that's when you force them to see, okay, can they read the defense properly? Can they pick up where the blitz is coming from? Do they know who's blitzing, who's not blitzing? Do they know who's, you know, where your gaps are? Do you know who the fucking, you know, the quick, you know, dump pass is going to? And unfortunately, Josh Allen couldn't figure it out. Lamar Jackson once again got exposed to me, even though some of you guys think he's the second best player in the league. Get the fuck out of here with your 2 playoff victories. And you know what I mean? And unfortunately, Brock Purdy, you know what I mean? I get it. It's Brock. Some people think he should get paid $100 million. Other people say, you know, you need to get somebody else for Kyle Shanahan's offense. We'll see. But I think Kyle Shanahan fucked up, man. I feel like Kyle Shanahan should have figured out something for Brock Purdy in those situations. He should have known that the blitz was going to come eventually. And I feel like every time on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and something, it feels like Brock Purdy didn't have the answer. He didn't have the solution. He didn't know how to make the correct play when it mattered the most. And again, he put up 19 points, so I don't want to say he's a scrub. What I'm saying is, it's Patrick fucking Mahomes, bro. You got to score at least 28, 35 points. Ask Miami. Ask Buffalo. Ask Baltimore. You want to beat Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes is going to score at least 17, 21 on anybody. On anybody. He's just too talented. You're not going to give him 10 possessions in a football game and he's only going to score twice. Not going to happen. You're not going to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Travis Kelce 10, 12 possessions in a game and think they're only going to walk away with two TDs, and you're going to make them punt 15 times. That's not going to happen. So to beat Patrick Mahomes, especially in the Super Bowl, yeah, you got to score at least 28 points to 35, and you got to eat that clock up. You know what I mean? Just got to eat the clock up, give Patrick Mahomes, you know, the least amount of time possible, and just continue to run the clock down and beat their ass down and run the football down their fucking throat, run the football, you know, deep in their pussy, and just fucking, you know what I mean? Just beat their motherfucking ass down, pipe that shit down. And unfortunately, even with Christian McCaffrey, I feel like they fucked up and they didn't run the ball enough. 22 carries was not enough for Christian McCaffrey. That motherfucker should have had 30, 35, 40 in my opinion. They should have never stopped running the football. At the very least, they need to just throw the football to him in open field and make their DBs tackle him in open coverage. But they didn't do that. And instead, they keep drawing up all these exotic plays, and KC keep coming with those fucking key blitzes on 3rd and down, 3rd and short, 3rd and mid. And they couldn't convert. Brock Purdy couldn't see where the pressure was coming. And, you know, he had to keep throwing the ball away. That shit was sad to see, in my opinion. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I said if San Francisco is going to win this game, my insurance bet was going to be San Francisco -2 parlayed with the over 47.5. Because if Patrick Mahomes is scoring 21 at least, like I said he would, then you got to score 28, 35, which means the over is going to hit. So the insurance bet was 49ers -2.5 parlayed with the over. That's basically plus 300, plus 400 on the money right there. And I said, yes, plus 300, I think, plus 250, plus 300 on the money. And that was my insurance bet right there with 30% of the bankroll, with the main ticket, again, being put it on Patrick Mahomes to win the Super Bowl, because I believe he's going to be more clutch in those situations. I believe they have the better defense. I believe they have the better coach who doesn't fuck up play calling like this. And I believe that it's just all the momentum. And you have the conspiracy theories with Travis Kelce and, and all the fucking bitch-ass Swifties. And ladies and gentlemen, whether it's a conspiracy theory, whether Patrick Mahomes is really the greatest to ever do it, or whether, you know what I mean, it just, Kyle Shanahan's, just not it. Whatever you believe, it doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl 58, MVPs, one more time, back-to-back champions, and now they're looking to run the three-peat. And I got to be honest with you guys, my early Super Bowl predictions for Super Bowl 59, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to run it back. I think they're going to get the three-peat. And the reason I think they're going to get the three-peat is because I think Baltimore Ravens are going to take a step back next year, because I think they're going to lose a lot of guys in free agency. Lamar Jackson just makes too much money. I think Buffalo Bills are going to have to figure out what they do with Trayvon Diggs and Von Miller. Von Miller got paid way too much fucking money to not do shit this year. And Trayvon Diggs is he's a petulant child out there with just a bitch ass attitude that rubs everyone the wrong way. So I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo trades Stephon Diggs, and get some key players or some draft picks for it. And I don't know what they're going to do with Von Miller, but he played like ass this year. And there's a lot of guys that are probably going to leave the Buffalo Bills this year in free agency. Again, Josh Allen wants that max money. Then you got Tua. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Tua. At this point, if you're not going to be able to throw the ball deep to Tyreek, then why the fuck is he there for? Just wasting his time? They should just trade Tyreek Hill back to the Chiefs or something. Or do something, because he's just not being utilized enough. He's getting a lot of yards, but he's not going to be winning anything. And now Tua says he wants $200-300 million because he thinks he's the fucking franchise quarterback. Then you're going to have to lose a lot of key pieces in Miami too. What the fuck are we doing then? You got Harbaugh taking over the Chargers soon. We'll see what happens with that shit. They have one of the most expensive rosters in NFL history, and they haven't really done nothing with it. I think Justin Herbert is special. I think he could be the truth, but I think it's going to take Harbaugh probably like a season or two just to get shit figured out, and you know what I mean? Get his shit together. Draft his, college kids in there. So it's probably going to be like a 2 to 3 year process. Raiders, we don't know what the fuck's going on with that shit. I think Houston's on the come up. I think Houston could be, I think they could be a threat next year. I think Houston's coming. You know what I mean? I think CJ Stroud just needs some more experience, but you never know. Patrick Mahomes went to the AFC Championship in his second year. You know what I mean? When he finally got to start and he went against Tom Brady. So maybe CJ Stroud's probably the biggest threat to Kansas City. Who fucking knows? Because that he's on a rookie contract and he's fucking coming. I like what D'Amico Ryans is doing out there. But other than that, I don't really see a clear threat. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, I think they're going to lose like 2 of their receivers this year in free agency. We see, because again, Burrow got max money. Jamar Chase wants that max money. So T. Higgins and a few of these other guys are just going to be left out. So we'll see what happens out there in Cincinnati as well. Pittsburgh Steelers, it just feels like they never have, enough. They don't have the right QB. So I don't know. There's a lot of question marks around the league. Aaron Rodgers, is he ever going to be fucking healthy? You know what I mean? Dallas Cowboys, is Dak Prescott ever going to stop choking? Is McCaffrey is McCarthy really just going to keep having job security? You got to fucking be kidding me. Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, what'd I tell you? You gave him the money and you lost half your fucking defensive starters. And then next year you're probably going to lose more. And they just lost Jason Kelce in retirement. You know what I mean? So he's gone in free agency. He's going into retirement now. So again, I think a lot of these teams, and now the 49ers, are they going to run it back next year? Are they going to pay Chase Young? You know what I mean? And by the way, last thing I'll say on this, Nick Bosa, you're becoming overrated, dog. You are one of the highest paid defensive players in NFL history, and all you do is choke in the postseason. Because Nick Bosa gets all these sacks in the regular season, 14, 15, 16 sacks in the regular season against all these third-string QBs. But every time it comes to the postseason, every time it comes to the big game, every single time it comes to make a break, this motherfucker gets exposed. And Kansas City exposed the shit out of Nick Bosa. Because every single time he came to blitz, every single time he came to run in, Patrick Mahomes would just run around him and throw another fucking 15, 20-yard pass. Nick Bosa did not show up in the Super Bowl. It was not enough. This motherfucker got exposed. If you watch the film, you watch the tape, they break it down on NFL Network. This motherfucker, he has too many tell signs about what he's going to do. And then once Patrick Mahomes looks at him and sees what he's going to do, they just run around his bitch ass. And he's basically worthless out there. Way too much money, not enough fucking results in the postseason. So ladies and gentlemen, next year, Kansas City, 3P. Let's go.